Mordecai?
I can't believe you, Rigby. All this time you were lying to me? And what? So you forged my rejection letter, is that it?
Yeah, but...
Ugh! Why would you do that?
I had to. You would have gone off to college without me.
You don't get it, do you?
It was just one lie. I was just trying to...
It's always just one thing with you. You don't do that to your best friend. You're the reason I'm stuck in this dead-end job!
Mordecai and Rigby are by far one of my favorite duos in any form of fiction. There's something about them that is just electric. It's something that you strive to have with a person. They are psychically linked in, knowing what each other are thinking.
Psychically linked in, I know how you're thinking. Picking up your brainwaves all over the airwaves.
Whether it's fighting a monster, fighting a villain, coming together at their lowest of moments to support each other, it is a great showcase of what a true friendship is. And with that, on the other hand, there is a lot of toxicity, whether it's them constantly failing each other in just honestly horrible ways, trying to bring each other down, whether it's one character growing and becoming a better person and the other remaining stagnant, they are constantly at each other's throats throughout this entire series in honestly despicable ways. And that's why today I want to tackle all of these moments. Even though their friendship is truly amazing, I want to look at the moments where their friendship was at its worst and they were just doing horrible things to each other and explore the toxicity of Mordecai and Rigby's friendship. Mordecai and Rigby are a great portrayal of a real-life friendship, in the sense that you probably have had a friend that you're really close with and they have done something so horrible that maybe for a day, a week, a month you hated them, but you would never do something to intentionally hurt that person. But in the case of Mordecai and Rigby, there are many instances, especially in the early seasons, where they are constantly doing things to try to hurt the other person that they're supposed to care about, that they're supposed to be bros for really dumb reasons. And that builds toxicity, at least in my mind, and it can all start with the episode Death Punchies. This episode really highlights how much Mordecai tends to make Rigby suffer, even if he thinks it's a joke, even if he thinks it's not that big of a deal.
Dude, they're exactly the same!
Then why don't you be player 2?
Pfft, I'm not using that sucky pickaxe.
See?
Dude, calm down. Let's play Punchies to see who gets to be player 1.
Fine!
He had been making Rigby suffer for a very long time. When you play this game, Punchies, with a tiny little raccoon that you know that you could always beat, then Rigby constantly always has to feel lesser than you in every single situation. The episode revolves around the fact that Rigby just wants to be player 1, and Mordecai says let's play Punchies for it. And this is a game where whoever can punch harder basically wins, and Mordecai being a 6-foot-tall blue jay, and Rigby being a little short-stacked tiny stubby raccoon, he is never going to win. And this builds a lot of resentment between Rigby and Mordecai, because Rigby constantly feels like he can never get the things that he wants when it comes to things with Mordecai, because there's just no way if they always play the same game, and this leads to Rigby going out and getting Death Kwon Do for the sole purpose of, beating Mordecai, but it really feels like he just wants to brutally murder him the entire time. I mean, he's going around the park just blasting all of his friends with these insane punches.
Oh no, bro!
Eventually enslaving everybody at the park, making himself feel like a king, and just when Mordecai sees all of this, he goes and gets Death Kwon Do all for himself so that Rigby would not be able to beat him. And Rigby is willing to die when they finally clash, just so that he could be player 1 and just so that he could finally win at Punchies. And we get this flashback that just showcases all of the abuse that Mordecai really puts him through. It's just honestly horrible, where there's so many instances where Rigby just gets his shit rocked just for existing, just for trying to have a chance at getting the things that he wants. And yes, it's regular show, yes, it's episodic, but this is the first instance where I could really see Mordecai being at fault for causing Rigby some form of harm. And then we go into the episode Free Cake, which can highlight a lot of the reasons that people don't tend to like Rigby as much, especially in the early seasons, because he was just causing so much chaos. And for what? In this episode, they're really trying to get that free cake! Free cake! They're doing anything that they possibly can just to get that sweet, succulent, ooey gooey chocolate cake, and this eventually leads to them getting one from the snack bar to try to throw a party for Skips, and Rigby just can't contain himself.
Benson's gonna get pissed, so we shouldn't.
Benson's gonna get like that no matter what. Better to have no regrets.
Dude, no! Rigby! Get off! Dude, quit it! You're ruining the cake!
He has to eat that cake even though he knows for a fact that he's eventually going to get that cake, which leads to Mordecai having to try and stop him, and then they eventually stumble upon Skips, and Rigby just will not listen to anything that Mordecai is saying, which is just honestly really immature for his character because he's just not doing anything. Skips is clearly doing this important ritual in the woods. Mordecai is begging him to not go in interrupted. He's saying it looks really important, and Rigby ignores this, interrupts Skips, and almost gets him killed, and it's up to Mordecai to save the day because even when he sees Skips dying on the floor, disintegrating into bones, he still doesn't want to give up his chocolate cake, and it's up to Mordecai to help Rigby rationalize and eventually give up the chocolate cake.
Give me the cake, dude.
No way!
So you're telling me you like cake?
The blue one has cake. Cake. Give us the cake.
The cake for Skips.
Mordecai, what are you doing?
Dude, do you want Skips to die on his birthday?
All right.
Because guess what? If Mordecai wasn't there, Rigby probably would have let Skips die for some chocolate cake. It's this kind of stuff in their bond, in their friendship, that just isn't really that good to me because one, they don't really listen to each other, and two, it's just kind of abusive in a way. And then when we look at the episode Meet Your Maker, also in season 1, this is a great example of Rigby constantly lying to Mordecai about a lot of things just because he wants to get his way, and in this case, he said that Benson said that they could grill the hot dogs. Does Rigby know how to grill hot dogs? No, he sets them ablaze.
I know how to get that baby going. Out of my way.
Okay, dude, I think that's good.
What? I got it!
They go into a river and they are fully destroyed. And then this leads to Rigby trying to solve everything, which leads to them getting locked inside of the freezer unit because Rigby is just so dumb. Mordecai at this point has just given up, starts daydreaming about Margaret, you know, getting that sweet succulent Rig boner once again.
Spin with me. Oh, Mordecai.
Oh, Margaret.
Mordecai, I'm gonna
Just have to always mention that because it's very important. And this eventually leads to Rigby finding all of these other hot dogs that are alive and just want to be eaten, and they start attacking everybody.
Hey, Benson, I got the hot dogs right here. I didn't grill them, just like you said. Oh boy, this is gonna be the best barbecue ever.
now.
What the heck are those?
And so Mordecai put all the faith into Rigby to try to fix this situation, and Rigby let him down once again, but he's able to save it at the end by putting all of the blame onto Benson after they were attacking everybody, just to make Benson look like the bad guy, and I still don't enjoy that very much.
What did you do?
Yeah, Rigby, what did you do?
Don't look at me. Benson's the one who went and bought the crazy super premium psycho hot dogs.
Oh yeah, he's right.
And this just leads to a pattern of Rigby constantly messing things up, Mordecai being let down by him, and them constantly just not agreeing about a lot of things, because seasons 1 through maybe 3, Rigby would just be the main cause for a lot of the problems that were going on, and Mordecai would just have to try to salvage it and try to solve a lot of the problems that Rigby creates. And then we go to the episode in season 2, which I truly believe is Mordecai and Rigby at their worst, other than a few instances that I'm going to talk about later in this video, because this is the episode It's Time. This episode is by far one of the worst episodes in the entire series, solely for the fact that Mordecai is at his worst and Rigby is just at his ultra hellish demon mode, because in this episode, Mordecai is very nervous to try to ask Margaret out. He has been planning this. He bought tickets. He wants to do this. But Rigby, with his stubby little raccoon arms, they're watching a trailer for a movie. Mordecai says that it's cool, and Rigby has already bought 2 tickets to that movie for the both of them. How exciting.
'Cause I got us, bam, 2 tickets for opening night.
Ooh, I kinda already got 2 tickets for Pajama Sisters too.
What? Why? That's just some chick flick, and not even the good kind. I saw the preview. They're just gonna sit around talking about their feelings, fully clothed.
But there's one problem with this. They didn't correlate, they didn't talk about it. There was no reason for Rigby to expect Mordecai to say yes to this. He assumed that Mordecai had no plans, that he had nothing going on with his life, so it would be perfectly fine for Mordecai to drop whatever he wants to do to go to this movie with Rigby. And Rigby, upon hearing that Mordecai wants to ask out Margaret and wants to take Margaret to a movie, he's just like, No, that's not what's gonna happen. He starts flirting with Margaret non-stop, just trying to look as good as possible to make her laugh.
Oh, we don't mind. It'll be a moving experience for all of us.
Rigby.
Ah, what?
Nothing.
Wait a minute. You're jealous.
And then he starts pointing out the fact that Mordecai is jealous, which, why wouldn't he be? You're trying to hit on the girl that he's literally planning on asking out, that you know that he has feelings for, and you're just taking this instance to be like, oh, my friend doesn't want to go to the movies with me. I'm trying to get his girl. I want his girl. I want his girl really, really bad. And that's what he does for the rest of the episode. And when they're helping Margaret to move, that's when Rigby asks her out, and Margaret says yes.
Bam! 2 tickets to the zombie dinner party premiere. Want to go with me tonight?
You actually got tickets? Yeah, I'll totally go with you tonight. Mordecai, you gotta come too.
Mordecai can't come because I only got 2 tickets.
And he still is just trying to get Mordecai to admit that he's jealous. I don't even know why he wants him to admit that. What is the point? You know he's jealous. You could see it on his face. You could see it in the way he's acting. Why do you need him to say it? What's the point? You're just being a bad person. And then for the next half of the episode, Rigby's just all like, I can't wait to tongue Margaret. I can't wait to tongue her, man. You gotta say you're jealous, Mordecai, because I'm gonna tongue her.
Mordecai, help! These boxes are too heavy. Mordecai can't help you, Margaret. He's too busy not asking you out. Oh, yeah, Margaret.
Yeah, that's pretty much his personality for the rest of the episode. 8 hours till my date, 2 hours till my date, 2 hours till I get Margaret. Yeah, it's just horrendous. So this leads to Mordecai to take all of the clocks and put them in the microwave, and which leads to one of Mordecai's worst moments, but you have to say that Rigby deserved it. Everything that Rigby was doing would honestly just be asking to get socked in the face as hard as you possibly can just to smack into him because he was asking for it. So when they're on the microwave and Rigby is just saying, oh, I just wanted to go to the movie with my bro, and then he pushes Mordecai and Mordecai shoves him into the infernal abyss and kills him.
No, I didn't! I just wanted to see zombie dinner party with my bro, who flaked on me for some girl who doesn't even know he exists!
I'll kill you! Rigby!
And everybody typically puts the blame onto Mordecai here, but if Rigby was also a 6 foot tall, giant raccoon, he probably would have pushed Mordecai off the microwave too, killing him too. This is by far just one of their worst moments, 100%, and it doesn't make it any better that at the end of the episode, Mordecai has to go back in time to when Rigby initially asked to go to the movie, and he has to say yes, so it's just a lose-lose situation that doesn't feel any better because Mordecai just has to sacrifice something that he wanted to do just because Rigby got like a little salty baby.
I'm glad you said that, because I got us, bam, 2 tickets for opening night. Want to go with me?
Yes, I do.
What's the fun in that? This is one of their most toxic episodes, and it's by far one of my least favorite episodes because of their toxicity. And then we go into the episode Do Me a Solid, which, trust me, we're going to be getting into more of Mordecai's stuff, but in the initial seasons, Rigby was just so terrible. Rigby, just upon hearing that Mordecai wants him to do a solid, just to go out with Eileen for one night, just so Mordecai could have a chance with Margaret, he hates this, and he asks for 10 solids. And instead of Rigby choosing to be a bro, help him out, he decides that he wants to make Mordecai look like the worst possible person imaginable and just ruin any chance he could possibly have with Margaret here. Even though Eileen is being a super nice person to Rigby the entire time, he could at least try to have a good time, but no. He wants to dedicate all of these hours to making Mordecai look like the worst possible human being, like spitting on Margaret.
Mordecai, can you do me a solid and tell me if this burrito tastes fishy?
Making a really loud ripping noise in the movie theater.
In your face! Someone just wasted their 6th solid!
Hey, do me a solid and take the heat for this.
take the heat for what? Sorry. Sorry, everybody.
And it just keeps getting worse from there, because at the end of this episode, Rigby, with his bright, beautiful mind, suggests to Mordecai that he should take a shit on the floor in front of the girl that he likes, in front of all of his coworkers, his boss, and Rigby records it.
Fine, you win. I'll do it. Beep, beep.
No, bro.
Honk, honk.
Okay, shh, get ready. Here it comes in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Honk, honk.
What kind of friendship is this, man? I understand that it might be a little bit funny to some people, but to me it's just Rigby being absolutely toxic at his absolute worst and just trying to make Mordecai look like a bad guy. And then so what if the fact at the end of the episode they're supposed to be cool with each other? Hey Mordecai, you know this tape of you taking a dump on the floor in front of the girl that you like? Let's go to the arcade, dude. Let's go play some games, man. Yeah, no, it's stupid. It makes no sense. Why are you friends with this guy after that? And just because he got rid of the tape, it doesn't take away what he made you do in front of the girl that you liked. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But a very toxic episode. And then finally getting to some more of Mordecai being a little bit more toxic here. A great example of that is in the episode More Smarter, where Rigby is feeling bad about himself and his intelligence because he never graduated high school, and just for the entire episode, Mordecai is making everyone around them and himself degrade Rigby for not being intelligent, not being smart.
Yeah, right. I'm not dumb enough to drink that stuff.
Come on, we do dumb stuff all the time. We're like 2 peas in a pod.
No, I'm definitely smarter than you. It's been that way ever since you dropped out of high school.
Dude, what? I don't need no high school education.
I need you guys to figure out the minimum number of 9-foot planks to use for construction.
Whoa, slow down, Benson. Rigby can't answer that question. He doesn't have a high school diploma.
He can't have burgers because he's not smart. You're not smart, dude. I'm smarter than you. Just the entire episode, that's basically the entire premise of it. Just Mordecai trying to make him feel as bad as possible. And when Rigby finally starts to get a little bit of an edge thanks to the Brain Max potion, he, Mordecai just can't stand the fact that Rigby could ever be smarter than him. And this leads to a ultimate battle of the minds. And I could really enjoy it, but it doesn't still feel good. It just feels like Mordecai degrading Rigby the entire time.
There is still one irrefutable truth. You don't have a high school diploma, so I'm smarter than you. You imbecile.
And it doesn't feel like it gets better at the end of the episode because it doesn't feel like it has a conclusion with Mordecai really truly apologizing. Maybe he says I'm sorry one time, but the majority of the episode is just Mordecai being horrible, unwilling to let Rigby become better, and trying to stop that at all costs, and just both of them becoming stupid at the end because they became way too smart that they couldn't understand their friends. And
Dude, what is he saying?
the final episode that I want to discuss before the next chapter is the episode Wall Buddy. And this is truly a horrible, horrible episode for Rigby in so many different ways, because I mean, this episode is all about how Rigby has a giant colossal mess in his room. I'm talking about trash just littered everywhere, and solely because Mordecai and Rigby are supposed to do things together, Rigby just can't handle the fact that Mordecai threw him under the bus and said that it was his mess. But it was his mess.
This place is a biohazard. I want both of you to clean it up now.
Both of us? But Rigby's the one who's the slob. Look at his chimichanga.
He's not wrong.
Well, Mordecai's even worse. Look at all his junk in the corner.
Dude, that's my bed.
There is a literal point in the episode where it shows Mordecai's side of the room and Rigby's, and you're supposed to be all like, oh man, Mordecai should really help this guy clean his mess. No. So it's just 10 minutes of Rigby trying to hide his mess, and because he's so bad at it, he eventually gets Wall Buddy, a thing that could separate rooms, and he tries to move all the trash over to Mordecai, just putting it all on Mordecai's shoulders. And that's just honestly such a dickish move to do that I just can't even remotely understand why he would think this is okay. So Mordecai freaks out, starts telling Wall Buddy to rearrange the room, and eventually Wall Buddy spreads everywhere all over the park, and they have to solve it by turning him off. And the end of the episode, instead of Mordecai sticking to his guns and Rigby being like, you're right, I should clean up my mess. That's a pretty average, normal thing you would expect from me. No, Mordecai says, "It's our mess, pal. It's our mess, and we'll do it together because we used to do things together."
Ah! Mordecai and Rigby!
Now, before you say anything, we did do what you said.
Yeah, we cleaned up Rigby's, our mess, so you can't fire us.
Immunity, son!
Yeah, not really about that. I didn't really enjoy this at all. I think it's why it's one of the most hated episodes, because it genuinely makes no sense. The conflict resolution makes no sense. There is nothing good about it, and it's just Rigby winning a situation that he genuinely should never win. These are just a few instances that highlight the toxicity in their friendship. There are still many more moments in the show that are honestly worse than this, but this is just establishing the ground base level of their friendship and the things that they tend to do. For every time they were really good to each other, helping each other, there were other moments that just dragged them down in worse ways that you would never expect in a friendship. Just a quick little 20-second self-promotion here in case you're new, because I just got a huge boost of subscribers. I'm so truly thankful for everybody that's watching these videos. I know I'm just talking about regular show, but it means a lot that a lot of people tune in and seem to enjoy the content that I'm putting out. And if you do enjoy it, please make sure to like and subscribe. At 20K, I'm going to be cosplaying as Benson and drinking the Mississippi Queen. I also have a Discord that will be in the description where you could join and talk about your favorite cartoons, movies, games, share art, give me video ideas, give me feedback, whatever you really want. So yeah, let's get back to the video. You may have noticed that I talked about Rigby a lot in that last section, but one of my favorite aspects of regular show is that you could watch your characters develop over time, changing into better people, and Rigby was one of the greatest examples of this. He went from being narcissistic and selfish the entire time to slowly but surely changing into what seemed to be a really good person. Mordecai, on the other hand, he seemed to remain stagnant, and one of the best examples of this is in the episode Laundry Woes, a episode where he is at his lowest of lows and Rigby and all of the gang have to come together to raise him back up, to be happy again, to try to help him get over Margaret. And of course, I always have to point to this moment where he does that big, and he smells Margaret's sweater, and this brings him right back to where he was.
Dude, no! What do you think you're doing?
Margaret's sweater.
Where he is in see Margaret mode, and he has to try to deliver that sweater back, and Rigby is just doing everything he possibly can to stop him here, trying to mail it to her.
What are you doing? Dude! Wait! I can't believe you did that. I would have mailed it.
Sure you would've.
That fails. Trying to throw it out of the car when they're driving there, that fails.
The sweater doesn't even matter. You're just making excuses.
What? No.
Oh yeah? Then I guess it doesn't matter if I do this.
Why would you do that? What's your problem, man?
I'm not the one with the problem. That sweater is messing with your head.
And eventually, when Mordecai has been driving for 20 hours and Rigby just doesn't understand this, he sings the Not Fine song, which is just explaining everything that's wrong with this situation to Mordecai.
I just gotta get the sweater to Margaret. Almost there.
Fine? Fine? Not fine. Not fine, not fine. You've been driving all this time. Your eyes, they must be blind.
Cut it out.
Not fine, not fine. How can you say you're fine? Thinking about this sweater, gotta pull yourself together. This plan will only hurt. You can never make it work.
He is not fine. It's not about the sweater. It's about going back to that same place you were at and just making your life horrendous again.
Ow! Why are you so against me giving Margaret her sweater back?
Cause it's not about the sweater, and you know it. You gotta forget about Margaret.
Dude, Margaret's important to me. I can't just forget her.
Okay, you don't have to forget her, but you have to get over her for real.
Rigby here is showcasing that he has become a better person that is willing to mature and help his friend no matter the cost. And what does Mordecai do here? He shoves Rigby out of the car, leaving him on the side of the road.
I want my friend back.
Well, if you were a real friend, you'd understand.
I am your friend. You'd realize that if you weren't such a sad sack chump.
That's it.
Aw, man.
And of course, Mordecai eventually does come to his senses on his own, but this was one of the moments in the series where I could highlight that Mordecai claims that he's going to change, that he's got over Margaret, that he's going to become better, but he never really does that. His feelings for Margaret stay, and although Rigby seems to be growing and evolving, becoming a person that Mordecai can genuinely go to for advice, Mordecai never seems to learn anything from any situation that he is in. That's why when he starts dating CJ, it's one of the worst scenes that he has in the episode Lift With Your Back, when Rigby is constantly covering for him over and over and over again, letting Mordecai leave his job to go and hang out with CJ.
Hey, can you cover for me so we can go hang out?
Sure, man.
Cool.
Double fisted.
Stab, 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 stab. Oh, hey man, sorry about this. I'm taking CJ to see that Swedish movie with the crying, so...
Oh, okay. Well, have fun.
I probably won't. It's pretty cerebral and really sad!
Stab. Stab.
And Rigby is genuinely proving that he could handle things all on his own. Rigby doesn't have to do this, it's just a choice. Rigby is becoming a better person and is willing to help out his friend. And when push comes to shove, when Benson questions this, and he looks to Mordecai for help, when Benson says that Rigby can't put in light bulbs by himself and Rigby claims that he could do that all on his own, Rigby looks to Mordecai, and Mordecai just delivers one of the worst moments in the entire series, where he just completely ignores the fact of Rigby asking if he's useful, and Mordecai just says, "Yeah, you're my friend."
What? Come on, Mordecai, tell him how useful I am.
Yeah, I mean, you're fun.
What? No, tell him I'm useful.
Yeah, you're my friend.
Why aren't you saying the word useful?
Well, I mean, there was the time with the chairs, the limousine, the pretzel. You're basically the opposite of useful pretty much anytime we do anything.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have this job without me. You're honestly useless. And this leads to one of Rigby's greatest moments for actually growing and changing, where he quits the park to go and prove to everybody that he could get a check all on his own.
So the whole time I've been covering for you and CJ?
Well, I mean, it's the least you could do.
The least I could... I quit.
And he actually does it. He proved Mordecai wrong, and Rigby kept growing and kept changing, while Mordecai just kept remaining stagnant. These two episodes highlight the toxicity in their friendship in the later seasons very well, because it's mainly just Mordecai who is starting to mess up a lot, and Rigby becoming the de facto Mordecai in the situation, then basically switching places to where Rigby has to fix a lot of what Mordecai is doing, because Mordecai just keeps doing horrible things, getting advice from Rigby, and just keeps on messing up over and over and over again. And Rigby's growth was all but halted when it gets to the regular show movie, where he just commits one of the biggest atrocities in the show, which kind of changes everything when you're looking at the show as a whole. The storyline in the regular show movie was a very interesting place to take the show, because they needed something that could give drama to the movie. Instead of just focusing on the aspect of fighting Ross, they needed some ultimate form of drama to it that could just change the entire series, that was earth-shattering and movie-worthy. And what they chose to do was to just basically take away everything that Mordecai had been going through, everything that Rigby had going through, because genuinely, if you look at season 6, before the movie came out, Mordecai was just on a major downhill, and Rigby was just continuously going up with the stuff that Rigby was doing. And for the choices that they decided to make in the movie, swapped their places again. I just said that Rigby swapped places with Mordecai, becoming a better person, helping Mordecai out of a lot of situations, and Mordecai being the one to cause the situations. The regular show movie decided to go back to that old format of making Rigby one of the worst people in the entire show. And that was all thanks to the Rejection Letter plotline. This is one of the main aspects of the movie, and it's all about how Rigby didn't get into college university. A college that is supposed to be for everybody. A university that everybody can get in. And Rigby gets rejected.
After. I didn't get in? But everybody gets in. What am I supposed to do now?
And in his teenage years, he decided, because if he couldn't get in, then there was no way that Mordecai could get in either. So he goes to Mordecai's house before he gets there, and he types out a rejection letter and makes sure that Mordecai does not get into college university, getting rid of Mordecai's actual acceptance letter and holding back Mordecai for his entire life.
I got in.
Whoa! Dude, I knew you could do it. We regret to inform you that you have been rejected from college university. Dude, I didn't get in.
And it's one thing to say that Mordecai maybe wouldn't have went to college without Rigby. We will never know. But Rigby took away that opportunity from him, and that is honestly just such a heinous thing to do. And this is just the past timeline. In the main timeline, Mordecai didn't know for 10 years. He didn't know anything about this. And then you cut to that point where they're standing in the high school and Ross is telling Rigby to read the letter in his pocket, and he reads the letter out loud, and Mordecai, our Mordecai, learns about the horrible truth that Rigby had been lying to him for years upon years upon years.
So don't even try. Though our school motto is the college for everyone, sometimes college isn't for everyone.
And this is where dependence in their friendship really comes up. Rigby was so dependent on his friendship with Mordecai for his happiness in life that he was willing to shatter any opportunity that Mordecai could ever have in the future.
I can't believe you, Rigby. All this time you were lying to me? And what? So you forged my rejection letter? Is that it?
Yeah, but...
Ugh, why would you do that?
And this is just such a weird way to take the series, because a lot of people honestly don't even think that's canon, because they don't understand how Mordecai could ever be friends with him after this and ever look at him the same.
Well, I'm stuck too. Who better to be stuck with than your friend?
You're not my friend. All you've ever done is hold me back. And I'm the idiot for not seeing it until now.
But J.G. Quintel has said himself that this is a canon moment in the show, and it just makes it all the more horrible that we've seen in so many different occasions that Mordecai hates his job, that he wants something better out of his life, and he has been stuck in this job, not having another opportunity. Maybe he would have went to college university and become something that he truly wanted. There's an episode where Mordecai wants to be a pilot. Maybe that would have come about somehow. Maybe he would have started a business. Maybe he would have done something. Maybe he wouldn't have failed art school. We will never know. And that is all Rigby's fault. And the decision to take the show in this way, after Rigby had been having so much growth, so much change, just to put this heavy moment, one of the most realistic, heavy things the regular show has ever delivered, because yes, there's a lot of chaotic moments that are honestly just silly, but this was one of the realest moments in the entire show that genuinely made Rigby seem like a horrible person, a horrible friend, and Mordecai's reaction to all of this is completely valid, saying that he doesn't want to be friends with him anymore. How could you ever be my friend when you could do something so heinous to me? And Rigby's response is, so? What better place to be than stuck with your friend? That is just not a fair response to Mordecai. He should have at least had that choice. And this is by far one of the worst things that Rigby ever did to him. And it's something that honestly isn't something that he should have been forgiven for. But because, you know, plot-focused stuff, it needs a happy ending, Mordecai forgives him for this. And they become best buddies. And it's never brought up again, which is something that was always so weird to me. If they were going to make the regular show movie and make it canon, it should have made another, like, focal point. It should have been something in the next chapter that I'm going to talk about, the graduation. It should have had a moment there where the letter and the speech was recognized, and then you could understand and feel with Mordecai more. But it wasn't. This will just forever always be a horrible thing that Rigby did to Mordecai, solely based on the fact that he was so dependent on his friendship that he held him back. And it's just honestly such a horrible thing to do. And can you guess what they decided to do after the movie? What could they possibly decide to do that has been a reoccurrence throughout this video? They decided to switch their places once again. You make Rigby do something that is so horrible, so heinous, that you're going to be like, okay, well, Rigby did something bad. Let's make Mordecai kind of more of an annoyance in this season instead. Because in this season, season 7, Rigby is going through his biggest change of all, going back to high school. And it's one of my favorite arcs, one of my favorite mini arcs in the series, because it's honestly just so good. I mean, some of the episodes aren't the best, but it's just Rigby trying to do his best for Eileen and eventually for himself, taking all of these different classes. Jablonski, great episode. Hello China, great episode. Rigby goes to prom, a great, amazing episode that resolves his problems with his father. There's just so much good stuff in the season that all relates to Rigby's growth as a person. And at the same time, we get such a horrible regression of Mordecai's character that can make sense in a lot of ways, but it doesn't make it any better to watch. There could have been a lot of different ways to take it that would make it better, but the way they decided to go about it, it just feels so horrible, especially even listening to it, and that all comes down to Rigby's graduation day special. When Rigby has been working so hard to pass all of his classes, and he gets the opportunity to give a big speech about why he did this in front of all of America, and throughout this entire episode, when it's supposed to be just a day celebrating Rigby and all of his growth as a character, Mordecai makes it all about himself in just such a narcissistic, horrible way. He is just angry throughout the entire episode. The beginning of the episode, it just pans to him just sighing and being sad when Rigby might have opportunities, and it's just horrible to watch.
Principal Dean, hello? Come to school now. Deadly serious? I'll talk to you later.
Oh no, graduation's canceled. No graduation for Rigby!
And then when everybody's telling Mordecai to go do something nice for him, to drive to a caffeine outlet and get him his favorite drink, Mordecai doesn't want to do this. He's just diminishing all of Rigby's accomplishments. He's just saying, high school is the least anybody could do. Why are we celebrating this? I don't understand this. I don't get it.
Perfect. Take my van.
But it's seasonal. I'd have to drive all the way out to the caffeine outlet to get it now. Then I'll be extra touched that you took the time. Is all this really necessary? I mean, graduating from high school is like the least a person can accomplish. But it's a big deal for Rigby. I can't believe I have to explain this to him.
He's your best friend, dude.
Fine. I'll be back in a really long time.
And the reason he's acting this way is just because he doesn't want Rigby to be on the same level as him.
Come on, dude. You gotta do this for yourself. I can't do everything for you.
What? I've been doing stuff for myself all spring. I haven't needed your help all spring. Now the one time I do and you're not doing anything for me at all.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not doing anything for you.
He always wants to be better than Rigby, and that's not just an assumption. When Rigby is bombing his acceptance speech, his speech to all of America, he meets with Mordecai in the back for a little pep talk, and Mordecai explains why he's been being so horrible this entire time, and it's because he just doesn't like the fact that Rigby is graduating, that Mordecai is no longer better than him.
I don't know, man. It's been a rough couple of days for me.
For you?
Yeah. Look, I know how messed up this sounds, but it's hard to see you doing so great. I guess I always kind of liked that I was doing better than you before.
And sure, maybe that's a good arc for some people. Maybe they like the fact that Mordecai has been stagnant and he reacts to everybody getting better, and his reaction to all of this is to just become a horrible friend, one of the least supportive friends that he has. I mean, heck, Muscle Man is even excited for Rigby here. Everybody's so happy for Rigby, except for his best friend.
That does sound really messed up.
I know. When I heard you embarrassing yourself out there, I realized how unfair I was being. I think it's awesome that you've worked so hard to get here. You're graduating from high school today, man. You did it!
Just because your friend is becoming a better person. I really wish that they decided to take Mordecai's character in a different direction, where in some kind of way he was also becoming better. Because what kind of arc is it where your main character's arc, Mordecai is one of the main characters, his arc is to stay the same and be disappointed that his friend is becoming better? That was just not a good scene to watch, and it's one of the worst moments in their friendship, especially because Rigby is just okay with that fact after Mordecai says, I know this is messed up, but I don't like that you're graduating high school and becoming better because I've done nothing with my life for the past 10 years. Then do something. Then do something about it and become a better person. And what would have made this hit even more, going back to the letter, is if they would have acknowledged it in this scene. If you would have said, I don't know, you holding me back with that letter, I can't blame myself, but I blame you, and maybe that's why I'm angry. I blame you that I haven't been growing. I blame you that I haven't been becoming a better person because you didn't give me the opportunity to be better. That would have been a way better blow-up argument to have in the series because it would have meant a lot more. Closure on the fact that Rigby did that, and an acceptance that Mordecai has to come to terms with the fact that even though he was held back by Rigby, it's up to him to become a better person. That was the one scene that we were missing. That was the one scene that I truly wanted because of the movie. Because the movie happened, because they focused on that, I wanted that scene to be in this episode. The entire time I was watching this episode, I thought that's why Mordecai was mad. Because he saw Rigby going out, becoming a better person, Rigby joking that maybe he'd graduate college. All of these jokes were maybe hitting Mordecai in the feels because he still had resentment for the fact that Rigby held him back. But no, the entire reason that he's upset is just solely because he hasn't been growing and changing and Rigby has. That's the only reason. That is your choice, Mordecai. That was entirely your choice, and you to react to your friend like this is one of the most horrible things you could ever do. The decision to make the characters just constantly flop between good and bad in this friendship is realistic, but at some points I don't like it because you just have to have a character getting better and then you just have to make them worse just so that there could be this drama, just so there could be this argument. It's just not very fun to watch, because this should have been an episode that was all about Rigby, Mordecai hyping him up, being excited for him, or you could have went the letter route and that also would have worked just fine, especially because Mordecai was upset. But his reasoning is just honestly really dumb, and that's why I don't like it, and Mordecai just regressed as a character. And then going into Season 8, it's just all forgotten. None of this even happened. They're just best of buds in Season 8, so what was it all for? What was it all for? I don't know. Maybe a realistic friendship, but because that kind of works, but I don't know. Just something about it I don't like. I don't like that he regressed as a character, especially when Rigby was becoming better. Now, I'm not trying to make this video to say that they have a bad friendship by any means. There are way more moments in the series that showcases that they are just honestly perfect for each other as friends in so many different ways. The way that they could freestyle any beat together, the way that they're able to conquer any situation, those moments when they're at their lowest of times and they're just on the roof, cracking back, having a soda, those moments make up for all of these horrible moments. But I feel like it's important to talk about stuff like this, especially in a show like this, where some people may just look at it as it being trivial, being just a kid show, when there is so much deeper meanings to all of these different situations, and looking at Mordecai and Rigby's toxicity in their friendship is just a great adventure to go on, because there are so many moments in the series where you could look at it and say, wow, how are they friends? The letter, Rigby's constant failures in the beginning of the show, Mordecai's regression and letting Rigby down on so many different occasions when he's graduating high school. There's so many different moments where you could put their friendship into question, but it has those moments to make it feel realistic, to make it feel like an actual friendship, and I feel like that makes the friendship all the more amazing and all the better to watch, because even though they have so many downs, their ups make it better, and it just makes it a better show overall. So yeah, I think the toxicity of Mordecai and Rigby's friendship overall makes their friendship even better. Holy